Chapter 13. Ignoring Isla's genuine attempts to pay her share, Steve settled the bill, totally forgetting Isla's discount card, before they walked out onto a much quieter West Houston street. It was nearly 11 p.m, and given the time change, their body clocks were screaming at them both that it was now 4 a.m. Cab or walk? It was Isla who put the question. I think if I walk, I'll fall down and sleep somewhere before I make it back to the hotel. Do you mind a cab? Oh, thank God, I can't walk another step, but didn't want to look as though I was bailing. I'll pay for this. Lovely stuff. Taxi! He hollered in the most American way he knew how. The readiness of taxis meant they were in a car within moments. The streets were now full of a different type of person than the earlier stampede of tourists who had crowded the pavements during their walk through the city. They now had an owned feel, as New Yorkers reclaimed their patch for a few hours before it all started again. The rubbish needed to be cleared, the shops that served their neighbourhoods through the night restocked with supplies. New York was a place people typically went to have fun or conduct business. Steve had never given a thought to the people who made the city tick, or to the doorways of despairing homeless quietly napping before they were moved on or roughed up. While London had been bad for a few years before, New York looked as if it was still losing its battle with despair. Steve started to drift off. The cab made quick time, and the towering Hilton now leered over them. Isla paid the fare as her contribution to the expense of the evening, and with today's per diem safely stashed away, she promised Steve that next time it would all be on her. That's kind of you, Isla, but I get it all paid for when I'm on the road, and I don't get to keep what I don't spend. Well, we'd better do something when you're not on the road then. I've had a great night, Steve. You're lovely, and I've enjoyed becoming your friend. I'm assuming we're friends, right? Steve felt that this had the legs to be a proper friendship, the sort where you could say what you want to. I don't want any more superficial shitty friendships, Isla. I made enough of them through work. You know what I mean. So, does that mean that you want to do something tomorrow night after work? Let me know if you want to. No pressure. I told you earlier, my life is good and I've loved our evening together, so can I be honest with you for a minute? Isla nodded, alerted that something was happening between them right now. When I couldn't get to sleep the other night, I had no one on my mind. There was no one who I could call to talk shit to, and that was okay. But if you want someone to talk shit to, as well as the meaningful stuff, then I'm your guy. And, by the way, I'd love for you to take me out when we're back home. It will take some doing, given our schedules, but we'll sort it. It was hardly a declaration of love, but it felt significant. They gave each other a hug, a long hug. Their collective affection was just as it seemed to be. They were two young people who were into each other, and for tonight it was as friends. Isla! One of her colleagues was gesturing for her to join them in the bar. Night, Steve. I'd better say hello. Enjoy the club soda, Isla. You're only 19, remember? Isla stuck her tongue out before joining the raucous cabin crew, who seemed to be midway through a long session in the hotel bar. Steve followed her as far as the sightlines allowed him to. Isla turned just to check if he was still there. He winked back at her, unsure of everything other than the fact he desperately needed to sleep.